If you're not moshing to that,
I'm
something's
wore out.
wrong.
I'm wore
Man,
out.
that gets you going. That is a good blood warmer right there. Love that music.
Oh my God.
Hello, everyone. It is Scotch
Thursday.
for Dummies Thursday night.
Cheers.
We
Live
made it.
show.
We made it. We made it. We made it. We made it.
Man,
You're not
Hello,
lying.
everyone.
We literally are hopping around and headbanging to that whole release time. Andrew said we need to get a cam on you before.
yeah,
this
we need a dance cam for the
Oh
intro.
my gosh. Yeah, I'm a little out of breath. Wow, happy
Oh my
Thursday,
gosh.
Happy
guys.
Thursday. Good
Um,
week. It's been
wow.
it's been a big week.
Big week, big long week of ups and downs with weather too. What the hell's up with
Oh
that?
my gosh, it's crazy outside right now.
Ugh.
But last night we were able to make it up and get
went up-
some
went up to
reviews
the Chop
done at
House.
the
We
Chop
did.
House.
On location.
Oh man, we had some good scotches.
Oh
boys.
man, we killed 2 bottles.
They're coming out next week and next 2 weeks. We got a ton of stuff coming out, you guys.
I was extremely surprised last night.
I
with
was
those
too.
reviews.
Well, yeah.
I'm just gonna say
Don't
the
say
reviews
too
we
much.
did.
we're not gonna
Don't
tell
say
what
too
you
much.
reviewed, but man, we were
shocked.
it was good. Very
Yeah,
good.
we've got
You'll be
some
impressed.
amazing scotches coming up and some other whiskeys
Other
coming
whiskeys.
up. That's going to be pretty
Shall we
epic
say
as
world
well.
whiskeys? Maybe
Ooh.
it could be
So,
American. They could be world.
We're
Well,
turning up the
America's
gas.
part of the world. So
Turn up the gas again.
Yep.
Back in the saddle.
Back in
It's
the
good time.
Back in the
saddle.
saddle. Let's see who's on.
yes,
Let's say hi to
Let's
everybody.
say hi to people.
We had a good pre-show for the patrons.
Yep.
We had some fun. Everybody had some opinion on what's going to happen tonight. We'll see if they were predictive or not.
yes.
So Jason Jasky says Peter's stuff is let me pull it up.
Too much for me.
Yeah, I'll be sipping on some Glenmo or some Glendro while watching. Cheers, y'all. Yeah, I get that. That's a common thing.
Totally understand completely.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with either of those Glens. I actually love them both.
No, and that's why we're going to go through this tonight. We're going to really tear these bottles down to really understand what's going on. Marco,
Is that Marco, our driver?
Your
I
driver?
can't tell the picture. It might be our driver from when we
What's
were
up,
out.
Marco?
Man, if it is, what is up? We need to come back and
Yep.
spend
It
another bit.
is.
That was fun. It was
Yeah.
a fun trip.
We got Paul M on saying Ardbeg for the win.
oh,
We
I got some Port Charlotte. Oh, yeah.
Port
So,
Charlotte.
so you know what? This is the peated edition. So if we get one King of the Hill, we can put another one against it. So, cast strength is
That's right, yeah.
tricky, but Port Charlotte's not a bad
I'm
neck.
just gonna pull everybody
Right.
up.
I mean, at the end of the day, the way this King of the Hill works. So last week we had one, and it was really a sherry matured whiskey, right? It was Macallan 12 against Glendro 12. So that's its own battle. That's a
sherry battle.
That's a sherry battle.
Yeah.
Tonight it's peated. Now we have a King of the Hill in the sherry category. Right now, the current king is Glendro 12.
Mhm.
So we've got a challenger for Glendro 12 already that we'll be visiting here in the next week or two. But tonight it's this peated standoff, and it's going to be really exciting. The tail of the tape is a lot closer than I anticipated. Than I actually
It is
thought it was.
stunning. I was doing research on it, and we'll pull that up when we get to it.
But we also are going to talk about this week's review, which just
Yes,
went
let's talk
out
about
yesterday, right? So the Kilhoman, we're going to actually that's what we're warming up with right now. We're not that exact bottle. We're warming up with this Kilhoman United States of America small batch number 6. This guy's a 47.9, and what is it? It's bourbon, PX, and Oloroso, and I'm loving it.
It's good.
It's
It's a
pretty good.
It's pretty damn good.
Did you say it was 46? No, it's higher now, right?
yeah. It's
No,
47.9%.
Okay.
what
But
did I
it-
say?
That's what
No.
he said. So it's like 70% bourbon barrels, 25% Pedro, and 5% Oloroso. And it tastes like it. It's got the sweetness.
It really does.
But the thing is, there's a lot more peat in here than you think. There's a lot more peat in this than there was in the Macallan Bay Christmas edition.
That
For
one,
sure.
that the review that we posted.
for sure.
100%. 100%.
This is a lot more peated. So that was interesting to me.
This is like it's got orange in the nose too. Did you guys get orange in the nose?
Yeah.
But it's very fireside charry s'mores,
Yes.
graham cracker, all that.
I think that
creaminess.
orange is coming from the PX.
Probably. Yeah, because I'm not getting like leather and typical Oloroso coming through in any great quantity.
It's great on the nose, great on the palate, and I think it's a perfect warm up for what we're going to do when it comes to King of the Hill. So,
Who was it? Sunday Evening Scotch noticed your shirt.
has this been noticed? Yeah, this was a gift from one of our patrons, Bob H. He said he saw it online and on Amazon, and he ordered it. So I didn't even know it was coming. I get a delivery from Amazon, and I'm like, It's got my name on it. I'm like, I didn't order anything. What?
I like getting stuff from Amazon.
But it doesn't even say who it's from. It
I
just,
know.
you know, I'm
Yeah.
like, so I open it up and I, as soon as I saw it, I texted him. I'm like, did you send me something? But I had to wear it for
Yeah.
Bob for getting it for me. I mean, and it is fitting, right? What the heck?
check it over.
Bye-bye. So Kilhoman, it was an interesting
Yes.
one. Tom E sent it to us. It was so cool to meet him too, and all those other
we met
people
him
there.
Yeah, that was down Texas.
Yep.
Yeah, and
That's
that was
his
a while back. So we just now got a chance to get some videos out, and that was one of the last ones, I believe. But it was a cool sample. It was great to actually have it there live in person with him. But glad we did it. It's an interesting bottle. I love Kilhoman, and we're experiencing
What
it
they
tonight
do.
and what they're doing. Yeah.
And honestly, I can't tell you I've even seen that bottle. So it's not like I would
I
have
haven't either.
ran across it or had an opportunity. And so we were hanging out in the hotel lobby,
Yep.
and how many bottles were opened
Oh my
up, right?
God.
And he was
100.
adamant about getting us, sending us home with samples
Yep.
that so we could review it. So, thankful to him that we
Yep.
were able to at least experience that whiskey and share our
Bradley.
perceptions.
What's up, buddy?
Hey,
Hey,
Ananda.
Mr. Murphy. So what did we score that? I think it was, we just looked it up. It's
2.875
2.875.
for all four of us. So decent.
So it's a decent dram.
A little bit above
Have it
average,
on your
sure.
bar if you like, especially if you like Kilhoman, because that
But it wasn't
Good.
the most heavily peated Kilhoman
no,
we've ever had by any
Maki or
means.
Bay isn't by
Right.
definition.
It's
yeah,
that's the whole point of it.
it's more summery lemon. That's what
Kilhoman feels like it's got a little bit more of the Highland type influence as well, with the heathers and lemons and citrus and
Yeah.
almost floral flavors. And
They're a farm distillery, right? I mean, they do it from they grow their own.
think they grow their own.
To some extent. I mean, they buy.
Well, I'm
for
sure,
some-
yeah, but
for the big releases they buy,
and they do small releases where it is farm to bottle type thing.
Let's get a
right?
close up
So,
of that bottle and
bottle cam.
bottle cam on the old dram cam here.
Hey, Steve Connor, I see you there, and our friend Scotch in the Bayou, who is creeping up on 1,000. Let's put that in there.
Yeah.
So that's what we're tasting tonight. That's not the
It's not what we posted.
no, but Isla Farm Distillery.
So I'm enjoying it.
It's batch 6 for those that are interested. That's on the back.
I wish it had just a wee bit higher percentage of the Olo.
Not too close.
Too close.
But
That's all
I
right.
think it's really good.
Yep.
I really enjoy it.
Okay.
All right, Scotch Down Under says Pete. That's what tonight's King of the Hill is about. We sort of went over what King of the Hill is. There's different categories, obviously, right?
Yep.
Moving forward, once a king is declared for a particular category, like tonight's Pete,
Yep.
then there will be contenders that try to take that king down and see how long that king stands on top of the hill. So whoever wins tonight, I'm sure that you all, our patrons, will come up with contender number 1 for the winner.
Yes, that should be done in Discord. Go into
Right.
Discord and patrons and others talk about what you think should be the next Peaty King of the Hill.
And the goal here is to try to keep them as similar as possible. I mean, obviously, these are both 10s. We're going to go to the tail of the tape and see just how similar they are, which makes this really fun. I don't want anybody to suggest, oh, well, you guys should get the Laphroaig 25. That'll beat them.
Well, that's not fair.
We're trying to do apples to apples as much as possible.
Exactly.
And another variable is too, we're looking for things that are readily available in liquor stores in most places.
Absolutely.
So, and price comparison, all the things, we just try to match everything as much as possible. Because it's interesting when you're going to your stores, there's always something that's like that one or that one. And why?
And why? Exactly. So this is where we're trying to put out content that makes that decision a little bit easier for you when you're stuck looking at it on the shelf, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference between the price? Everything is similar here. And these are two behemoths, right? This is Ardbeg and Laphroaig, for God's sake.
So if you watched last week's live, the King of the Hill, that was the first one. Actually, you guys did pretty good. I mean, I didn't partake. I mean, I partake, but I didn't judge it. But the Mac 12, I mean, they were pretty different, right? In flavors, but ultimately the Glen Dronach won, right?
Yeah, I prefer the Mac 12 because it just had more Oloroso influence and more leather and depth and that kind of thing. But I'm only one.
I enjoyed the Mac 12 last week more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
I will say that it definitely was closer than I thought it was going to be going into it. And just so you know, we've talked about this. I'll stop camp. We are trying to come into this is open-minded, look, we're going to know which one's which. We don't know which one is which right now, but we've been doing this long enough where our noses,
As soon as our nose hits them,
you're going to be like, oh, that's that. But so aside from that, that's not the point. The point is we're going to dig into these individually and then come out and say, right now, tonight, which one do you really prefer and why? That's the point.
Yep. So do we want to get into this, or we got other topics you hit first?
Well, I mean, we can dive right into this. I do have one thing we can get through later on after we get through this. I mean,
all right,
let's go over how we got to what we've got. So
yeah, let's go to the bottle cam.
These and let's go to the bottle.
Let's go to the bottle cam. We'll show what we've got here. So these are, you can actually do that. These are the two bottles we got tonight. These were both purchased at a local liquor store on, yesterday. And they were opened and allowed to breathe a little bit today, but they were essentially neck pours here. And then what we've done is we had somebody, not the three of us, pour them into two different glasses. They've been sitting capped for about an hour, so they've aired out a little bit. I mean, the capping minimizes that, but they've been sitting there.
But we don't know which one's which.
Don't know which is which.
Yeah, they're not lined up with each other behind each other.
There's a 50-50 shot there.
We don't know.
We don't know which one's which. Yeah.
Drew's wife's the one that poured them, and she wrote down which one was in which glass.
And she also said, yuck.
So we'll do that. We will take these glasses and we're going to go through them.
She's not a fan of Scotch, but especially Peaty Scotch.
These are very healthy pours to allow us to water them and to get everybody tasting through them. And we're gonna peel these open. We'll figure out which one is which, but we're gonna try and be objective here.
So before we begin, and I'd like to see just the comments real quick. If you can, we want to be interactive with you guys as much as possible. Go ahead and type in, who do you think is going to win? Do you think Laphroaig is going to win, or do you think Ardbeg is going to win? Just out of curiosity before we start tasting. And then as we go through a tasting and get through that, maybe they'll swing your votes. We can ask again afterwards. But I'm actually really curious because I went into this one thinking, I'm sure you guys did as well, is will we be able to tell a difference? I mean, ideally, I think we will. But I don't know. It's been a long time since I've had Laphroaig 10.
Yeah, let's bring up the tape to show how close these really are on the stats. So Dr. Scotch helped me with some research here, and we went through and kind of pulled up just the basic information on these two distilleries. So what you're seeing on your screen now is a comparison between Ardbeg 10 or Laphroaig 10 on the left, Ardbeg on the right. So that actually ABV is wrong. That is actually 40. Laphroaig 10 is actually 43% ABV. Ardbeg is 46. So there's a little difference there. The prices within $2 of each other. These are prices listed online at Total Wine. So you're typical for both ex-bourbon cask. They've got a little, one is non-chill filtered, one's cold smoked barley, whatever. They've got owned by major corporations. They're both on the south coast of Islay. Now where they talk through, where they dunnage is maybe a little bit different. We don't really know exactly where they dunnage them. And the distillery volumes they're different. I mean, Laphroaig has bigger, but I think they also provide distillate to other things.
Well, and a couple of things that we don't see on the tail is water source. We don't see peat source. We don't see,
those are all
those could change a wee bit, but let's be honest, that all comes from the island, and it's not that big of
look how close they are. I didn't know they were that close.
They are literally 2 miles apart. They're on the same side of the same coast on the same island. I mean, they are, if they truly dunnage them at their distillery, which I don't think they do. I think they've got maybe some inland ones. It's the same environment.
I mean, they get the same environment, the same salty water, the same airflow. I mean,
and how far off do you think if they get it from different creeks or different rivers, how far different do you think they're going to be? They're only 2 miles apart.
Yeah.
Right.
So
the peat.
So it should be exactly the same.
They should be. These are going to be exactly the same whiskey.
Well, I think that now. So what's going to differentiate them?
All right.
Still types,
yeast, distillate types, the heads and tails, the way they cut. The age of the barrels they refill, those could affect to some extent the grains they use, how peated are the grains.
Right.
There is quite a bit that these distillers have to work with.
A lot of variables.
But you look at your basic level,
sure,
these should be the same.
All right. I'm gonna pull some of these up. Go ahead.
These are both foundational scotches for the distilleries. These are the foundation of the core range for both distilleries.
Yeah, so you saw that Laphroaig does about 3.3 million, or their capacity is 3.3 million liters per year. Ardbeg is 1.2 million. my estimation is the bulk goes into these. They don't. Well, Laphroaig, I think they do some distillate that goes into some blends, but the bulk of their distillate that is for their brand goes into these 2 bottles.
I'm just running through. You guys are talking.
Man,
Ardbeg
so-
seems to be the heavy favorite so far. So
Yep.
going through these.
It looks like it's true. So that's what. Yeah, Stephen Connor was right. Laphroaig is Laphroaig 10 is 40% in the UK, which I thought was unique.
It is. I saw
It's
that
43 in the US, but 40 in the UK.
I wonder why they do that.
My son going. Okay.
I don't know.
And here's the question. So whatever the reason is, do you think that might change when we start seeing 70 CL bottles here in the States?
It will.
I think it will.
Because then it's
all going to be the same. They're either
let's
going to
standardize it all.
they're going to put it all at 43 or all at 40.
Right. So it's either going to work out in your guys' benefit over the pond, or it's going to, hurt us doubly because not only are we eating smaller bottles, but we're getting weaker whiskey.
Weaker whiskey. Yeah, it's going to be unfortunate. All right, we ready to hit this?
So let's do this. So basically, guys, the rules are unbiased. Just what do you like? Let's talk about the smells. Share with everyone.
Yep.
Try not to think about who you may like from a distillery. Just which one do you like right now and why?
And we'll describe them as the gold and the black.
That's right.
The gold
And we'll
and the black.
We'll do it neat, and then we'll add some water to it, and then we'll go from there. So what do you got?
We're going to start with the black.
Peaty.
Wow,
And the winner
that's
goes
surprising.
to Mr. Generic.
All right, so we're going to peel these open. What are you getting? What are you nosing? What are you smelling?
Well,
Describe.
so at first, there was a nice heavy peat, and then there was a sweetness underneath it. But now I'm starting to get that went right back into it and got underneath that sweet, and it was a little bit. What's the dang word I'm looking for? Not acetone, but it's a little bit acidic.
Create.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it's a creosote note that I'm. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. When you take a deep nose, it's definitely not as like peated as you would think. Sweet.
Is it tarish or creosote underneath it?
Yeah, I'm not getting medicinal. It's sweet.
I'm not getting them. I didn't get a medicinal note on that.
Yeah,
either.
it's like almost I don't know if you call it a pork barbecue isn't right. It's not fatty enough for a pork barbecue,
but we're not getting anything. They're both ex-bourbon, so there's no extra finishing.
Shouldn't no, yeah.
no.
This is just
As far as they tell us.
So the sweetness that I got
These are big
initially was probably
I
they're
told you.
huge pours. Was probably the vanilla, from
the barrel.
From the barrel.
All right, Mark's starting on the gold. Drew's still on the black one. What do you get?
yeah. I'm actually not getting a whole lot of peat. I'm getting peaty, obviously some smokiness, but mostly kind of like that lightly charring on the nose, and then a little bit of
That's a good description. It's a char almost.
So the funny thing is, I expected to be able to be like, whoa, I know which one's which. It's not as blatant as I thought it was going to
well,
be.
the palate probably will be.
The palate probably will be, but
Yeah.
I definitely think that this one has a little bit more of a medicinal, more of a
Yes.
clean nose, if you will, more of
A little more
a
Bandaid.
yeah.
I said the black also has a little bit of chocolate. notes in it.
The gold is it's less sweet, I think.
Sterile.
That is. Yeah,
That's
it
the
is
word I'm looking
medicinal.
Sterile.
It is sterile. It is. Oh, I'm getting there's some on the edges though.
All right, let me have a question here from Tom Marr here. Do you know what bourbon distillery they get their cask from?
I'm getting a little malty. Oh shoot.
I
Laphroaig?
don't. Actually, don't.
That is
No,
huge.
That's not
pour.
Makers, is it?
That thing is almost full.
So well let's do some thoughts here. Laphroaig is owned by Beam Suntory. So what does Beam Suntory make from a bourbon perspective?
Someone's gonna comment in a minute and tell us what they are.
Yes, and please do. And then Ardbeg is owned by Moët and
Makers.
Chandon.
That's what I thought. That's what I said.
Laphroaig is makers.
Yeah. What did you guys say about this one? The gold?
Sterile.
It's clean. It's like a Bandaid, like a new Bandaid.
It does have a medicinal,
Yeah.
but not like iodine, but like
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna start tasting the
I
black.
tasted the
I said-
black.
So gold. Let me finish up. Gold has a slightly less peaty smoke to it than the black does, but it definitely has a little bit more. I think medicinal is what I'll say, but I don't know for sure yet.
I'm getting some maltiness on that on the deep nose that it starts to smell.
Okay, so you just tasted the black.
I did, and it's a little more earthy than I expected it to be. And it's not as I actually expected it to hit me a little bit more up front. I thought it was really enjoyable. I don't get a traditional note that I think is what I should be getting off of it.
Well, don't overthink it.
All right, you're right. Just go for it for what I get.
Yeah, it's really gentle. It pops the peat kind of mid palate. It's really nice and soft. And let me hit that again.
It tastes a little hotter. Salty, it's the brininess to it, smoky peat, of course. It's got some viscosity to it. It's very chewable. A little black leather tobacco.
It's funny. There is a little bit of an oily feel to it, but the brininess it takes care of that oil. It almost feels oily on the mouth, and then when you swallow it, that brininess comes forward, and it's almost cloying. It's
it's good. It's got a great finish. It's lingering, but not like overbearing. A hint of bitter, almost I don't know if you could say this, but like a candy coating, like a white powder, like a spree candy coating a little bit. Kind of what would you call that? But the bitterness or something.
The black one is amazing that it really does have good layers of flavor because you get the sweetness, you get a peated mouth, you get a long finish on it.
These are pretty hefty pours, and I think that we're going to need to be interested in the water placement here. Probably a little too much pour on that.
Right.
Well, do we need to pour it into another glass and bring it to a?
It probably wouldn't hurt. Well, it just a lot of volume.
We do. I think if we poured half of this into another glass just to let it air out a little bit, it might help. Because I mean, this thing is almost full.
Yeah, I'll pour some of mine because I got.
Oh, dang! I got to pour some in mine. Because none of it, they're basically the same color.
I don't even care. I'm just putting it over there just to get it out of here and give myself a little bit more. Right. I mean, that's still a lot of scotch.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot in there.
All right, so we're gonna taste the gold now.
So we've had our first initial nose on black and gold. Now we had our first initial palate on black. Now we're gonna have a palate on the gold.
That makes a huge difference.
Oh, really?
Hell yeah, it does. I ain't lying, man. That nose is totally different. Just getting some
I would
air
think
in
so
there.
because it needs air to funnel the
right.
air in. Is that less or about the same as what you have in yours?
It's about the same. Honestly, it's
so
I think mine's still close.
Way more Bandaid-y. Bandaid-y.
Bandaid. What we got going on here? So people are already starting to call out Gold Laphroaig. Says Brad Murphy.
Well, that's probably likely.
Andrew St. Gentle talking about don't mess up Andrew. He's all excited about tonight.
So the gold is like
black tea bitter. Yep.
Woo! A little hot?
No, there's just a lot more.
Yeah, I think that's true. Whiskey Scout, Ardbeg, Bandaid, Laphroaig. Yeah.
Yeah, that one definitely tastes a lot like its nose now, and like you just pulled the Band-Aid out of the ashtray and decided to put it between your cheek and gum and
probably
chew on it for a little while.
Yeah. So you guys do gold?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's much more stringent. So the gold,
I don't know.
So
the nose is nice.
When you palate it dries your mouth out.
Yep.
It is the sweetener. There's the initial palate is very neutral in my view. It's obviously a peated whiskey, but it's a little bit sweet, but not overpeating. But then when you hit the back palate and when you fully swallow it and let it finish, that it dries your mouth out. You get all this kind of acrid palate on the finish.
Ooh, I don't know, guys.
That's different. They're definitely different whiskeys. I think they came in similar, that's for sure. But
I'm gonna say the gold is sweeter. Wow, it's got. I don't know. I really like that tonight. Wow, that's
See, and after tasting the gold,
buttery.
Good.
Sorry, no, keep going. I'm just naming things coming to my head.
So after tasting the gold and nosing the black glass, I'm getting bacon on the black glass now.
Bacon?
Bacon, totally bacon. It's crazy. That saltiness, that smokiness, yeah.
You know,
this is going to be hard. This is going to be really hard, actually.
We don't need to make it hard. Let's just talk about what we're flavoring, and that's what's important.
I don't know where it comes from, but I honestly get a cherry note right down the center of my palate on gold.
On gold?
Cherry.
I really do. And I don't know where it would come from because I know the maturation. I know the barrel.
There's bourbon barrel. Well, so that's their distillate. I mean, that could be a flavor that comes out of their yeast. Like the cherry flavor. That's I used to know the name of that. That's one of my favorite flavors. There's a molecule.
I spent too much time with
killing
Scotch.
Killing me. I know the molecule. But I'm missing it right now. COVID brand. I'm going to say COVID.
Oh, man, I don't know. I'm telling you, coming back to this one's nose just makes me want to drink this glass.
Yeah, I really like the gold though. I need to get back to the black and give it another take. Actually, I get that black right here.
I get definitely get that sweet vanilla from that oak barrel on it.
You guys, I think the gold nose is better than the black. It has more going on to it than the black does on the nose. The black is very almost one-dimensional on the peat smoke and just a little bit of chocolate.
I was thinking about the gold. I'm getting the black or the gold palate is it's very short on the sweetness for me tonight.
It's short on sweetness?
It is much more charcoaly, much more wood, much more of the dry side of the things versus the sweet.
What do you guys think about the ABV on it?
Oh.
Can you tell the difference?
Well, when I first palated, the gold seemed hotter, or the black glass seemed hotter, but no, I haven't tasted it. I don't even taste the black yet.
The black is more of your barbecue smoky peatiness than this is.
Mm-hmm.
But not any to try it with gold. There was some water in here, but now there is that creosote finish on that black, very charring finish.
Way in the back, then.
Way in the back.
Yeah, but I would say that the creosote kicks harder on the black glass
for sure
than the charcoal does on the gold glass.
That's like licking a piece of burnt.
Absolutely, it is. So the black glass has a much sweeter initial palate. You get vanillas, you get pork, but you get all that, but then it diminishes, I think, into a much longer creosote. Creosote. It's just a really heavily peated finish on it. Which one is saltier? Do you know? Can you pull?
I think this is saltier. The gold is saltier.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I think so too.
For sure. But it's more. I think the gold's more approachable.
I may agree with you on that.
I think this is I would say on the smoky peatier side, this is gonna weigh more than this is. This to me is giving me other things going on with it that's not. It's bitterness with vanilla. There's some citrus notes in there with this. I'm not getting any of that. This is one dimensional. It's good, but it's your barbecue. It's your charring. It's some hints of vanillas, burnt ends. I guess it's Laphroaig. I don't know.
We're calling it.
I'm calling it now.
Okay.
But if it is Laphroaig,
so let's
I like what I'm getting
both
out
of
of
these and see.
I already did.
Oh, okay.
I already did.
You put
we can put
decent
more
amount?
Yeah, I did. You can put some more in if you want.
I'll put some more.
Yeah, let's put some more. See what it does.
So
this
is actually a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be pretty like medicinal smoke.
I expected this one to smell like straight medicine cabinet, and this one to smell like a bag of peanuts to me. That's what I expected.
Well,
I didn't get either one of those.
Ardbeg is your.
See that is the beauty of going in with an open mind. Yeah, we knew what was here, but we're just peeling back the layers of what we're tasting. That's the important thing of doing it. And that's what's fun about doing with friends is you
I'm gonna
can
check
do
the
that.
comments here and see what's going on. Yeah, so you guys are welcome to add some more water if you like.
We put some. We'll see what happens here.
Mm.
Yeah, so you guys are making me hungry. Barbecue for dinner. Yeah, I don't know. I like them both equally well, to be honest. I think they're both. I think they're both well worth the money for what you're getting out of them. For a 10-year-old, let's just say $50, right? They're both delicious. You have got to go into this with knowing that you're going to buy a peated Islay whiskey. So you're obviously going to buy that with that type of flavor profile. I would say that the gold is not your typical, if it is Laphroaig, which I think it is, if it is Laphroaig, it's not the heavy Bandaid that a lot of people get out of Laphroaigs. It's more approachable, almost very entry-level peaty smoke on Laphroaig. If this is Laphroaig.
So either way, let's just describe the glasses as we see them.
And I think the Ardbeg is definitely more of that charring, smoky barbecue.
Which one do you have in your glass over there?
The black.
So I have the gold.
Yep.
Look at the color.
They actually are different. Yeah.
I didn't realize that. So that's a lot darker.
Well, so the
smell the I have black.
I don't.
You got gold.
Yeah. I have the black.
God.
You have the gold.
You smell that now? This doesn't smell anything like either one of those. That is sweet sugar cane, freaking candy,
brown sugar,
sweet brown sugar bourbon barrel, baby. That's all you're getting out of that now.
That is true. Of course, did you rinse that before we put?
No, but I mean, come on, dude.
You're getting hints of other things going on.
Yeah.
No way. That's all freaking candy cane.
Yeah, it is candy cane.
Oh yeah, but
that's from your previous glass.
It's diluted.
You're nuts.
Yeah,
it's diluted.
That's diluted.
Bad sample.
We know those are clean. We know
Milk's gone bad.
You didn't rinse the glass, man. You gotta rinse the glass.
Oh,
all right, so I'm gonna give my description. So the gold is it's a lighter whiskey with less sweetness. It has arguably less heavy peat flavor as well. It is a drier, acidic, more astringent dram. The black has a much sweeter initial palate. It has a much more, quite honestly, it's more accurate on its finish than the gold is. It really bites on the peat, on the finish of that. So if you don't like peat, that will really tear you up. But if you like sweet whiskey, the gold is not for you. Gold is not sweet in my view, in really any stretch of imagination. The black has more sweetness to it, but the peat acridness just really pulls you at the end and gives you a long peated finish. So I would say that so which do I like better?
I feel like we're splitting hairs. I really do.
Well, they're different whiskeys, and that's what we're trying to understand. What are if I'm looking at these two whiskeys, what do I want? If I want some sweetness balanced with peat, the black glass is what I want. If I want a clean peat, I want the gold glass. That's the.
So what do you want right now, Chief?
Yeah, I think that's actually a fair statement. I think as bad as this may sound, I think whatever, if this truly is the black, whatever, I'm not going to do this. No. If this is definitely black, is a dirtier peat than this is for sure. I think this is a cleaner peat.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby.
Ooh, baby. I think it just has you can the gold has the ability to give you more flexibility than the black does to me. The black, I feel like, is just it's barbecue, smoky peaty, whereas the gold, I think, has some of those, but some other things to offset it. So it's hard to say on your palate profile. I'm going to pick the gold tonight because I like them both, but I like the idea of spending $50 and getting a little bit more variety personally. So I'm picking gold as the winner.
You want me to go? All right, I'll let you finish this one out, Wheelhouse boy.
Man, that's tough.
Look, you guys have said everything there is to be said about the whiskey. I think you gave a very good synopsis of it.
Yep.
I just took another flavor of them while Drew was talking, just to go through this one more time, and I prefer the black one. I completely agree with you, Drew, on what you're saying about them, and in what you're saying, I'll say I didn't care for those other things that the gold was offering.
Fair.
So I mean, I'm not saying I would throw that glass away or I wouldn't take one that's offered. That's absolutely. But whichever one it is right now, I think it's got a few other characteristics in it that it's just not rubbing me the right way.
Sure.
I prefer the black one right now.
Okay.
It definitely is meatier. It definitely is dirtier. It's got a little more, fat and grease in it.
I feel like this gives you, if you have some inkling to sherryness or some other flavors, I feel like the gold's going to give you a little bit more than what the black is going to get.
It's giving you something more. I just didn't care for that more.
Right.
So I got to think of this as King of the Hill.
He's like, I just changed my mind.
I did. I literally changed my mind. So, so I'm gonna change my different perspective on this. This is King of the Hill. This is gonna go up against another whiskey. So, other whiskeys I know that are in this category are going to be adding different layers to their whiskey, and to be able to compete against that, I need to have layers.
No, right now tonight is the competition, not tomorrow. Right now, these guys are in the ring. Forget about contender next, man. Who's going to win tonight? It's for the belt, baby.
Come on, Wheelhouse.
And it's weird. It's weird because I had an idea going in which was going to win, and
damn, Bobby.
Well, you see, you shouldn't. You should come in
And
here
this-
with what
and
you're
this-
tasting. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm ignoring everything, even though I think I know what it is. Doesn't matter. I don't even care that I know the knowledge of both of these. I appreciate personally
What's in the glass.
What's in the glass.
Right now, what are you thinking?
so these bottles tonight. Now it's these specific
I
bottles.
can't make a decision.
No, I do. So the black glass, the finish is harsh, acrid, and not pleasant.
Which one?
The black glass.
Snap! He's going to gold.
The gold
He's gold.
is it's a better finish.
I know it.
It doesn't have, it's not as sweet up front, but it's just such a clean peat that I gotta love it. So
agree.
I gotta go with the gold.
Gold is the winner.
And I literally
Now
I did another nose while you were talking, and it flipped, and that was crazy.
So here's the interesting thing. I think we all agree
Probably.
that this is Laphroaig, right?
That's what we're saying.
That's my
But do we
opinion.
know for sure? I mean, we could be off.
I don't think
No,
so. But
so wait a minute. Which
We
one's
can-
in your glass? That's light.
This is the black.
yeah, that's
Okay.
all right. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I don't know which one's darker.
So let
or
me
not.
smell. Let me get the nose now.
And I washed mine out.
That's a good whiskey.
Oh, it's a dang good whiskey. Of course, that's why I picked it.
But it doesn't matter now because the black is out.
The black is out, whatever the black
So-
is.
I'm getting all sorts of maltiness on the gold now.
So people saying Ardbeg is the winner. Yeah, funny. You guys,
are
are
so
full of FS. Yeah, you're right. We are. The fix is in.
No, look, guys. So it is not
Black
fixed.
is
We are
Ardbeg.
not trying to put one over on you. My palate tonight. I'm stunned that if so. Let's review because I'm stunned that this gold, if I think it's Ardbeg, is not
The winner.
I love Ardbeg.
Do it.
Gold is Laphroaig.
Gold is Laphroaig. So we picked it.
I'm stunned by that because I love Ardbeg 10.
I love
going in.
Ardbeg.
I was going to pick Ardbeg 10.
Well, I think we
Freaking
all
trade
did.
this, man.
But this bottle probably.
Even our patron said 75 to 80% was Ardbeg.
I think this bottle needs to open up. Ardbeg needs to open up.
I don't
think
know.
Laphroaig needs to.
I don't know. I think we went off of, and this is whether you like what we're doing or not. It's truly it's still personal opinion,
so clean.
palate feeling. But I am trying to be unbiased and know my knowledge of both of these. I really am, and trying to figure out what is the differences. Hopefully, we can share those differences with you. So when you're on the shelf trying to buy one of these, or if you haven't bought one yet, which one is why, right? So if you've never had either one of these bottles, you can tell me. I can tell you they're both very good. but the black is going to give you that truer barbecue, charcoal,
and that's why it's more popular.
Smell. Whereas Laphroaig is not super Bandaid iodine, but it does have a little bit, but it has other things going on with it that the Ardbeg does not.
This is like Dewey defeats True.
I would agree.
Yeah.
On an initial palate, if you don't break things down, you're gonna pick. You're probably gonna pick Ardbeg over Laphroaig because it's got a sweeter initial palate and it's got that flavor to it. But that Laphroaig is incredibly well done.
I think Laphroaig hit it out of the park with knowing that they're normally really medicinal, and this Laphroaig 10 is kind of like not that. It's very tame.
And admittedly, that is maybe the reason that people don't like Laphroaig 10 as much as they used to, because it is toned down. It's a cleaner whiskey. It's not as as punch in the face.
I think the other thing to say is that if you look down the chain at both of these bottles, right, as you grow into the other bottles, Wee Beastie, Ugadale, etc., and same thing with quarter cask, whatever, you're going to get more of the flavor profile of each bottle. Like you're going to get more medicinal as you go along. Whereas Ardbeg, you're going to get more other influences that like the Wee Beastie and the Ugadale with sherry influences, other things. Like it's a total different ballgame.
And I think Laphroaig does the same thing on when you go down their lineup. The thing is this in both of these lineups, these courses, these are as rough as it gets.
Well, yeah, can imagine. So what would be the next art? What would be the next if you had to choose these two bottles against each other? They don't have anything to compare.
Oh, sure they do. You can get into those Laphroaig cartridges and find something that's going to go up, stand toe to toe against Ugadale.
Well, and the Laphroaig 10 cask strength is a sherry, so it brings up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, yeah, absolutely. That was Laphroaig 10 cask strength. Who knows where? I mean, it could definitely.
That's fair.
I'm actually surprised at my answer.
I am too,
but for some reason the finish on this Ardbeg was bad tonight.
Well,
it's a brand new bottle.
And we were talking to on the Patreon, and he said the same thing about how he had Ardbeg 10 recently. David, and he's like, it was meh. I'm like,
it underwhelming,
and I feel like that was underwhelming for me. And I'm a huge Ardbeg fan.
I think you planted that seed in your head.
I did.
All right, so Laphroaig 10 is the king of the hill for tonight,
and that means I'm taking the Ardbeg 10 home. I mean, I guess the poor loser's got to go home with me. I'll take care of it.
Oh, man, the Laphroaig is going to be so good. So I will tell you that one of my favorite old fashions is an old fashioned with Laphroaig 10. That is like the best old fashioned you've ever had.
Tom called you out.
Yeah, I saw that too. Did you see that? Right beneath
Tom went, Andrew went with Laphroaig because it's $1.50 cheaper.
That's true. He went the cheaper route. That sounds like Andrew.
That's the reason.
So what do you guys think about tonight? I mean, do we lose our minds? I mean, are we off? I mean, I know a lot of you in the channel have had this in the chat here. What do you guys think about this?
So in the chat, put why you think Ardbeg would win or why you think Laphroaig would win. What is the defining feature of each of these whiskeys that make it your pick?
Chuck's right.
What's that?
Malt Minion's got it right. Now that right there.
I'm not going to show that.
That's a liar.
You
don't have to need a lie. Don't show a liar.
I'm not going to show that. That's not even right.
Give me that mouse.
There you go. You feel better now? Mark is the winner.
Oh my gosh. I honestly, what surprised me the most about tonight is I didn't get my preconceived perceptions. The perceptions that I have stored away about these bottles, right? Been doing this for 6 years, 7 years, and I've had plenty of both of this distillery. Heck, we've gone through several bottles of each of these, and I've got memories, perceptions that have been stored away, and I didn't get either on either bottle. Yeah. I really didn't. I expected to be blown away by a medicinal. I'm like, this is Ardbeg 10. I'm going to get the traditional Ardbeg notes that I get on every Ardbeg. Didn't get them. What the hell? I feel like I'm losing my mind.
You're right. So these are 2021 bottlings probably. They're brand new. So when we first started with Scotch, Laphroaig had a deal where you could send a quote for their whiskey into Ardbeg, and they would print it on a poster. And I've got it in my bar at home, and it says, It's like licking an iodine bottle that was caught in a house fire. You know, the flavor lasts forever. This was not that.
It absolutely was not.
So
that.
either they've changed their whiskey, which is possible. Whiskey changes over the years, and that was probably 5 or 6 years ago. Or my palate's changed. I still have COVID brain. I don't know what it is, but I mean, it's a different whiskey than I remember, and that's amazing.
I think Travis said it best, and
Yes.
people are agreeing. There are no winners or losers tonight.
No,
they're both winners.
Oh,
I would agree.
They're definitely unique. And the funny thing, what I really appreciate is how unique you can get knowing the tail of the tape was so close.
Yeah.
I mean, they start out damn near the same.
Yeah.
But when you get it in the glass, there's a difference. There's a big difference between the two. And they're both good. Now, did we help the guy that's standing there in the liquor store going, which one do I get?
Oh.
I don't know if we did.
Well, so yes, because what I want you to do is I want
I like
you
this one.
to pick a bottle that meets your flavor palette, not ours.
Right. So if you're
So
looking
what did he say?
for,
Sorry.
and you need to go through what, if you're looking for this note, then you need to go on this side of the house.
Yes.
If you're looking for this note, you're all right.
Yep.
So
That's
go,
exactly right. That's what we did.
So we did a little sherry fight last week, King of the Hill. We just did a peated King of the
Right.
Hill.
And young Peter.
What is next? What do you guys recommend? What do you guys think should go toe to toe? Knowing the rules, right, is as close to apples as possible.
So what's going to take on Laphroaig 10?
Well, that's another one. But what, like, if we, a new category? What would be a new category?
Oh, so yeah, we do need new categories, but when we get enough categories going here, guys, we're going to do 2 or 3 in a live show because we're going to need to, because we can't let some bottle sit on the top of the hill forever.
Oh, they got to fight.
Right. So Glen Dronach 12 has been sitting on top of the hill for
a week.
a week, and you know what? We've already got a contender for it, and we're going to put it up there. Probably next week, Glendronach's got to defend the belt.
Yeah, so I saw Port Charlotte come through earlier. Port Charlotte 10.
Yeah.
That's a peated comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speyside, Glenlivet, Glenfiddich.
Yep.
Okay. Ooh, blended.
I love
That's
that.
a very
blended
interesting.
idea.
Blended whiskey.
That's a good idea.
So like,
Yeah.
okay, so Johnny Black or
I hate
Do
to
you bring
say
Compass
it. I'm
Box
not
into
trying
it?
to be. Yeah, I mean, how can Compass Box not just come in there, ready to freaking cage match it?
Swinging, yeah.
Forget the gloves.
Yeah, you're are you going to supply those bottles there, Pierre? I know we have one of
He
them.
knows we've got this. Yeah, that's
We've got a
Springbank
Scotia.
25 is going to send me back a liver.
What if we swapped a sample of the Scotia 25 for a Springbank
Oh,
25
no.
and do that?
Now that's interesting. That's very interesting.
Damn, Travis
Travis,
Fairclough,
you always
you're
pull out the
You're
the
a
left.
genius.
So you're
Left
talking
fielders.
what is that old Glen Dronach
No, he's talking
versus?
against Glen Alky.
Yeah.
yeah.
Do we have any old Glen Dronach left?
Come on, man. What do you mean we got?
He's got none. I don't have any.
But those are 21-year-olds. We don't have any Glen Alky 20s, do you?
Yeah, we can get some. Well, the problem is those Glen Alkys aren't Billy
They're
Walker.
not Billy
They're not
Walker.
yet.
I mean, the only thing you can say they are is because he was there to pick the casks to mix it. It's
Well,
not
and-
his distillate.
That's the same with that. He wasn't there when that was bottled. When it was
Right, it's
barreled.
his distillate.
No, those aren't.
This?
That's 25-year-old whiskey. He wasn't there then.
Yeah, he wasn't there for that.
They closed. That was before they closed down.
Oh, you're right. This is pre-close. You're right.
Yeah, that's
So-
his blending.
His distillate are the 12s and 15s right
Yeah.
now.
We
So-
just did that last week, right?
Yeah,
we
we
did
did.
do that one last week. Yeah, there you go. That's a good call. Go
That's a
watch
great
last
call.
week.
Glen Dronach wins.
Glen Dronach wins. Oh shit.
Oh my gosh, what's that? Another core range flagship Islay.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough though, because and that's one thing that's gonna be hard in this category is eventually we're gonna have to expand a little bit.
You're right, because these are all bourbon. So Log 16 has some sherry,
Sherry.
and
a 16,
Port
which is
Charlotte
10.
may too. I don't know. The Port Charlotte may. What about the Aaron 10?
Well, but and what we need to do is try our best to do apples to apples, but we're gonna run out, and then we're gonna
Eventually-
eventually it's gonna be a Lagavulin 16 versus whatever King of the Hill is, and
Right.
we have to be unbiased. And it's what do we like?
Yeah. So this entry level King of the Hill needs to be like anything, and so I want anything that you can get on the shelf. So I want you to only. I want you to only give us bottles that you can find at your local liquor store.
That's the idea. That's the goal.
Well, and then eventually, when we get into October-ish, November-ish, we're going to take current
Kamar.
kings, whoever's sitting on top of their hills, and we're going to start putting them against each other to find out who is the whiskey of the year. That's what's going to end up happening.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that because at the end of the day, you guys,
yes,
the last couple of years, our whiskeys of the years have been phenomenal whiskeys.
That's
They
good.
deserve to be whiskeys of the year, but they're not whiskeys that 95% of the people could have gotten, right? You had to be on your game, know what you were looking for, and be ready to pull the trigger when you know. And they were great whiskeys, but this is going to provide a whiskey that is not just great whiskey, but it's available. It was out there.
That's
you know, anybody and everybody could have went out and got it there local.
Yeah,
that's what we're trying to do.
Right. Interesting show, guys. That was
Yep.
that was cool. It was fun.
So let me hey, you guys, I looked up this article. I wanted to throw this out there because I want to see some comments. I want to see what people have to say about this. I found this article earlier tonight while we were on the pre-show. It's called "The Best Scotch Whiskies Between $60 and $70."
So what
ranked?
What's the link? So, or you don't need to
It's
provide a
in-
link, but
It's
if people
in
want to look it up,
Uproxx, UPROXX.com. I have no idea who they
What's
are.
the title of the article?
The best Scotch whiskey between $60 and $70,
Yep.
comma ranked.
Yep.
So it caught my attention. I'm like, oh, well, someone's going to tell me what the best Scotch whiskeys are. I got to
let's
go
go.
find out, right? So
I'm sure they're not influenced by
they,
people
you
giving
know,
them
they
bottles.
go through, you know, an intro on what Scotch is, and I'm like, okay, thanks for educating
Is
me.
that what Scotch is?
Right. So number 10, it's the top 10 here. That's all. It doesn't say that in the title, but that's what you're getting. The number 10 is Benriach, the 12. So 12-year-old Benriach, 46%. Okay. $61. All right. Okay. All right. I'll live with that. Then we go to 9, Compass Box Peat Monster. I don't know. Compass Box Peat
I
Monster is
like
pretty
Peat
damn
Monster,
good.
Yeah.
Can you get that for $60?
Between 60 and 70,
Yeah, I think-
$68.
I think you can.
Wow,
$68.
that's a good one.
And yeah, all right. I think
Yeah, that should be in this category.
I think so too, actually.
because that's. I mean, these are 50. That's 70.
Yeah, I think actually would be
Yeah.
but it's
taste,
a blend.
taste
It's a
wise.
single malt. I mean,
But well, we didn't say it was a 70.
You're right.
It's a 10-year-old Scotch.
so then it gets down, and I'm like, okay, I'm not surprised. Altamore 12. Altamore 12. Don't know anything about Altamore 12,
Okay.
but they're putting it in the top 10. Are you guys top 12, top 10 for Altamore 12? Glenfarclas 12, number 7. All right, Glenfarclas is all right. It's
Yeah.
I'm still not seeing bottles that I expect to see here. When we'll get into that, they're coming. So I keep scrolling. Bruichladdich Pork Charlotte 10, number,
Sure.
number
That's
6.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
yeah.
there you go. That could be up.
So
our next
ranked
one.
in at number 6.
Yeah,
All
that's good.
That's good, and that's between $60 and $70. That's probably going to take this guy on.
Yep.
So then I come down Ardbeg and
Oh yeah.
okay. To be quite honest with you, that's probably my least favorite
Yeah.
of the other Ardbegs.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like,
I'm definitely a Corey Bregan.
Black is
and
blah.
Ugadale, yeah, Ugadale. But okay, $65 Ardbeg. That's number 5. That's number 5. Now here's where I really started to lose it.
No.
Number 4 is Glen Dronach 12, and I'm thinking, all right, she belongs in the top 10, but
you can get it for $65.
but there's 3 better.
oh,
In my mind, I'm going, who the hell are these 3?
They gotta be good.
These better be
That's a
some good whiskeys. Guess what? Number 3 is Macallan 12.
Ah, son of a gun. That's
According-
interesting how you
well,
put them together.
Right.
though.
Those are yeah.
So according to this article, Macallan 12 is one better than Glen Dronach 12.
It's off palate. Yeah.
So then we get into the top 2. Oban 14
Really? Now, that's surprising.
is
Well,
the
Well, when was the
number
last time we had an
2.
Oban?
It's been a long
I just
time.
killed a bottle of this at home. My best friend bought me a bottle. It was a gift about 6 months ago. And so I got a little heel left. It's great. Love it. I don't know if it belongs
I
in
don't
front
think it. Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know. But number 1, Talisker 10.
No kidding.
Just bought a bottle of that for us to review. By the way, we a re-review of it. It's been a long time, but number 1.
One of the most awarded single malts ever.
So wait, what's the criteria? Is awards and everything else, or somebody tasting them?
Probably. It's
I would-
probably
it's got to be awards.
So
yeah, Macallan 12 is going to have tons of
you guys,
awards.
is Talisker 10 the best whiskey you can get between $60 and $70? Our best Scotch. How about that? I'll
Yeah.
say it. Best Scotch whiskey you can get between.
Yeah,
$60
and
I
Mac
don't know.
12 is not $60. It's every bit of 85.
Oh, yeah, right. So they're a little bit off. I don't know where they're buying, but it
Right.
caught me off guard to see. You know, when I saw Glen Dronach at 4. I was like, well, what's 3, 2, and 1? And then I saw Mac 12, and I was like, well, that's kind of crazy.
It's kinda
We should
neat.
just flip that. Oh well, whatever. This is a fun
John
article.
says it's Mac 12 is 65 there. So yeah.
Yeah.
So why is it so damn expensive here?
Because it can be.
Yeah,
It's
I don't want
hot.
to hear that. Number 1 is Johnny Walker Black, best-selling whiskey.
Yeah, but not for $60.
No, you can
Way
get that
below
for
that.
32
It's
bucks.
way
Talisker
below.
does have a lot of following. It's almost like a cult, like a hidden
niche?
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I think the
Okay,
Scotch
so-
in the Bayou might say that because she's actually been to that island.
So we will
True.
need to get the review for Talisker 10 out as soon as we can then.
We do. I think
Yeah, I like that
I
idea.
just picked that bottle up this past weekend. And I picked up the contender for Glen Dronach 12. So we've got a contender. We might visit that next week. I don't know. And I think we've got a contender for this one already. I think enough people and
Do we have a Port Charlotte? Yeah.
We don't have the bottle. I
It's
think
more
we-
expensive, but we're
that-
going to have that. We
That
can't
one
help
really is already falling into contender number 1 in my mind.
Yeah, we'll have to go to the liquor
But-
store and find out.
Drew was on to a point, for those that are on our Discord, especially our patrons, speak up. What other kind of categories do you want to see a hill created for, if you will, a battle royale? Because eventually it's going to feed in and we'll find out. So
Yeah, it's
it could be region based, Campbelltowns, it could be islands. I don't know. But I mean, the peated and the sherry were too easy, low hanging fruits,
Yeah, but it wouldn't hurt for us to stay in the sherry world for a while too. There's plenty of
There's
sherries.
plenty of sherry.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
see-
Let's see if Glendronach can stay on top of the hill for a while.
Pete Week. That's a 14. That's gonna be a little more expensive, but
We also did this because of we're trying to also stay in theme with our reviews. So that was a recent peated review.
I think
So-
maybe non-peated ex-bourbon maturations. In other words, no finishes. This is just straight
That would be
American
interesting.
ex-bourbon barrel.
Oh,
Give me
your bourbon lovers.
give me your malt madness, baby.
Glen Mo 10, baby.
Oh, Pulteney.
Right. That's a
Oh,
huge
Pulteney.
range too. Though. You might have some
Oh.
malty beasts coming in
Yeah.
against some
Telling
florally.
you, OP wins
Right.
every day.
Yeah, that's true.
That might be fun. So hit us up on Discord.
It's only like
we're at.
a few bucks a month to be a patron. You get access to pre and post shows,
Yeah,
and you
left.
get to join.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
some
way
both
out.
left.
I'll drink some black on the way out.
We've got plenty left.
You drink some gold.
I
I'll
got
drink
my
the
own.
gold because that's good stuff.
Woo! Fun night, guys.
So King of Hill number 2 down and Laphroaig 10 upsets. I think we can
I
say.
think
it
I'd
was
say it
an
was an upset.
Everybody
in my mind, it was
expected
an upset. I
Ardbeg
can't
10
believe
to
this is so
come
nice.
through. Okay, it is what it is.
Oh, it's so clean.
I guess I'll be a loser.
If you guys can, make sure you hit the like
Those always
button.
the
That's
last
huge
thing.
for us. If you're watching this in replay, love to hear your comments below. Make sure you let us know, what if you got some ideas for the next one or just what you think about tonight's review and Laphroaig and Ardbeg. So we'll see you guys next week. Guys, cheers.
Cheers. Love y'all out there.
Cheers, guys.
Be safe.
3, 2, 1.